So I've been making these YouTube videos for a little while now, not that long, but a wee bit, and it's clear to me that the ones involving sketchbooks are more popular than the ones about painting. That doesn't mean it's going to be all sketchbooks, because I don't do sketchbooks all the time, but today is a red letter day because I've finished another sketchbook. It's got some paintings in it, it's got a lot of some pencil, ink. But this one, it's quite interesting, it's super kind of wide format that goes you know, like this. So it's nice, I really like it. I took it on a lot of holidays, so there's a lot of like family moments and stuff in it. That was a news alert. Anyway.
Mr. Neil Conning painting.
Okay, it's a messy table. We've got a sketchbook tour. Another sketchbook tour. So as I mentioned, this sketchbook is kind of slightly different from the other ones because I've been taking this sketchbook around with me on family holidays and things like that. That doesn't mean that it's all family holiday stuff, because I do draw other things other than what's in front of me. Now admittedly, with this sketchbook you might see I've cut out a whole bunch of the pages. I don't do this anymore. That's bad, you should never do that. But at some point in the last few years I obviously got frustrated with it and cut them all out. Decided to start fresh. We all do these things from time to time, but you shouldn't do it. That was bad, that was naughty of me. But yeah, so most of the drawings in this are like this, just kind of line work, one or two pens, usually one thin and one thick. And so this was in Glasgow Airport. I think we're going to Faro. There's Georgie, she's pregnant. I'm having a Guinness and she's having a coffee. And this one, I have to say, this is one of my favourite drawings in the book. It's a shame it's just on the second page. But it was Glasgow to Faro, Portugal. And I had the whole flight to do this. So I was quite pleased that this kind of curvilinear perspective thing. I've always been kind of obsessed with Kim Jong-gi, rest in peace. And in no way am I as good as him, but I like doing these big fisheye, like curvilinear perspectives. And an airplane's just great for that. And also, you've got a long time to do it. The only bit that I had to make up, kind of from imagination, was the stewardesses and the trolley. Obviously that went too fast for me, but I think I did it. Oh my god! I just knocked over all of the. I just knocked over all my paintbrushes. Same trip, just a nice couple out having their lunch, so us having our breakfast. Some faces. So you can tell we're in Portugal because everyone's wearing sunglasses. That was our hotel room, quite nice. There's Georgie. Another meal. Quite often, by the way, I'll start these and then finish them later, or just adding in details and things. It's not like I spend the whole of breakfast or the whole of lunch doing drawing and not talking to anyone. But also I can talk at the same time. So these sort of funny characters. These are just things on the plane home. I think it was just things from the in-flight magazine. I must have been thinking about planes because I was sort of drawing fighter jets and some daffodils or something. More of that. I don't know why I was doing that. I think I was reading a lot about war. So a lot of these faces are sort of people from the train, or you know, like I said, I would carry this around and just pick it up in spare moments. So this next few series of drawings are quite interesting, quite fun. These kind of dense scenes. So I will admit that I generated the references for these using Midjourney AI. I'm not really sure what I think about that. It's kind of great like exercise for just making a little drawing that's kind of interesting of a scene. But is there something soulless about these? I think there kind of is. You know, I'm troubled by the fact that, you know, I just kind of drew what I was looking at. Didn't really question it, but if you think about it, it doesn't make sense, like where her feet go in the chair. And so I'm kind of troubled by all this stuff. There seems to be something, there's an emptiness to them, even though they are, on the first hand, visually like interesting. That one too, like what even is it? I think I prefer, although worse drawings, these are like they're real life. I don't know. And this is drawing on the train. That woman is that woman. More train people. That must have been from a photograph or something. This is Jaws. I forget the actor's name. I think he died, which is why I drew him. It's another interior scene. This time with the brush pens doing more of a wash. So I quite like, you know, sometimes I like making ink drawings like this, and sometimes I like making them, you know, like this. And sometimes I do the hatch. I don't know what I really like. I think I like all of them. This is fast forwarding quite a bit to another trip. I think we're in Italy at this point. So it's with sort of extended family. Quite nice. Pool scene. It's my daughter. Some people. Fred. So I quite like doing these sort of collages of things, you know, it's just something weird, something of where we were sitting having lunch. My daughter was asking about drawing mice, so I drew some mice. Cow, it's again just some of the scene that we're looking at. Oh, the election was going on at the time. Ancient history now. Big hands, not my hands. I must have drawn this reference like 4 or 5 times. I mean, references everywhere. There's a scene from a zombie film I was watching. I think it was, what's that Spanish one? It's called Wreck. Big. So that's just with a little bit of watercolour on it, by the way. Just the ink with a little bit of watercolour. So if you're doing that, you just have to be careful that you're using waterproof ink, otherwise it just turns into a real mess. Same here with the watercolour. That's pencil. Obviously didn't finish that page. So for a while I was just sitting drawing at breakfast, usually at the weekend, on a kind of extended breakfast. So these are just things from in the room. Maybe in one day, maybe over multiple days, I don't really remember. But, you know, good to get the ellipse practice in. And actually I quite like this one. It does capture the feel of the breakfast, I think. The chaotic family breakfast. So I don't really remember what these things are, just kind of doodling. I think that's from that, the spiral, what's it called? Ito? Oh, I'll need to look that up. I'll write it here. seen from the window. I really think this one needs to become a painting. I think that about a lot of these sketches. This is from an article that I read about the quote unquote happiest man in the world. He was some monk and he was rigged up to some neural scanner and they were measuring his levels of happiness. Whatever that means. But what does he do with it? Just sits about all day in his selfish contentment. Even some pencil. On a personal level, I really like this drawing. It's a lot about what my life is at the moment. Some random stuff seen from TV or something. Me as Chairman Mao. A sort of Elsa. And then, if you've watched my tours before, you'll know that I quite like to end on an oil painting, so that's what this was. I hope that hasn't been all glary the whole time. Nice to end on an oil painting. Well, it's not quite the end because I usually work backwards. There's a wee doodle. I think my daughter started it and I finished it. Some of the students. That's me. And then all will have to end. Do you think I'll get in trouble from Disney? Probably not. Probably not. Probably be alright. Alright, that's it. Another one. Another one done.